let's talk about free. Or should I say, let's talk about fan service. No, not really. The fan service in the show actually isn't that bad. If it's been holding you back from watching it, you're actually probably in the clear. But I do want to talk about Free Iwatobi Swim Club, the first season. I recently watched the dub of Free Iwatobi Swim Club Season 1. This show took me a little while to get into. I'm not that big into fan service. It's kind of something that I don't really get. It's just not a big thing for me. So when I first saw the first episodes, I was like, I don't know about this. It actually took me the course of 2 years rewatching the first episode every so often to be like, maybe I'll be into it this time. And I finally got to the point where I just watched it all the way through, and by the time I got to episode 3 or 4, I was into it. I was like, yeah, I dig these characters. So if you are worried about the fan service, it's actually not that bad. It's there. Let's be clear. It is definitely there, particularly in those early episodes. But what really makes you stick around is the relationship between the characters. Free is an anime directed by Hiroko Utsumi. It was produced by Kyoto Animation and Animation Do. Like most anime, they did have a source for it. It was based on a 2011 light novel. A light novel is kind of like a YA novel. It's got some illustrations. It's aimed at that certain kind of middle schooler demographic. But it was called High Speed. And then the animation studio, I think it was in 2012, but what really kicked off Free was the animation studio made a commercial essentially to advertise how well they had developed the ability to animate water, essentially. And they had done a really good job, but they decided to make it about a swim team, right? 30 seconds of film. It blew up. People went crazy. I actually kind of remember it. I was still kind of on the periphery of the anime community at that point in time. I hadn't kind of completely phased out. But yeah, people were going nuts about it, and it got enough of kind of a ball rolling, enough momentum that they actually turned it into a series, which I think is pretty cool. In all honesty, it's very traditional slice of life anime. It's about a school swim team in kind of small town Japan. It's by the ocean side, but it's a very slice of life kind of thing. And it's about these 5 boys primarily and their involvement in different swim teams. And if it were gender flipped, it would be like every other kind of slice of life, girls being friendship kind of style thing you've seen. Down to the names. They're all super girly names too. But they flipped the genders, and just by doing that one thing and playing it up for a female audience, it really made this show a success. The first season came out in 2013. It was on, I think, Crunchyroll, but then they did eventually do a dub. And I'm going to review the dub for this. It was done by Funimation. I am a little late to the party here, so I decided I'd go ahead and review the dub. I've seen bits of the subbed voices, but I primarily watched everything in the dub. From what I've read online, people weren't big fans of the dub. I think that's fairly standard business as usual. People tend to prefer the subs. I came up in the 90s too. I know the original dubs were terrible. It made me really prejudiced against dubs too. But I actually think this dub does a pretty good job, particularly Michael J. Tatum, who does the voice of Ray. I really think he's very strong. And he also, I believe, voiced France in Hitalia, so he's shaping up to be one of my favorite voice actors, for sure. For a brief synopsis, let's talk about what the anime is about. Free Iwatobi Swim Club Season 1, just talking about Season 1 here, but it's pretty much what it says on the can. It's about the Iwatobi Swim Club. Particularly, it's about the 4 guys on the Iwatobi Swim Club, plus one of the old members who's kind of got a beef with them now due to some drama during middle school. There are 3 boys on the Iwatobi Swim Club to start. The main character is Haruka, or Haru. He's kind of the central protagonist. I'll get more about him later. But then there's Makoto, who's the backstroker. Haru swims freestyle. In fact, Haru only swims freestyle, which I will talk about in another video. And then there is Nagisa, who swims breaststroke. And Nagisa kind of gets the group together, and he's like, yeah, guys, let's start a swim club. And Haru's kind of like, for whatever Haru's reasons are, is a little like, oh, I don't know. Makoto's kind of into it, but he's going to go with what Haru does. They eventually pick up a fourth member, Butterflyer, and that guy is Ray. They recruit him from track and field. And then the fifth guy, who's kind of the main character, is Rin, and he swims on their rival swim club. I believe it's called Samazuka. I'll have to double check me on that one. But he is a butterflyer and a freestyler, and he broke away from them in elementary school and went to Australia, and now he has come back mysteriously for his own reasons, and he's a changed man. So to get into a little bit about the characters, and this is going to get into more of the actual review, like my thoughts on it. Let's start with Haru. Poor Haru. He is just not very interesting. I know I'm going to catch so much hate for saying that, but he's just not that interesting, guys. He's standoffish, I guess, kind of aloof, but like, you ever noticed in that love triangle thing, because there's a lot of homoerotic subtext in this show. There is. It's there. It doesn't improve the story, but it doesn't detract from the story, really. But he has two kind of love interests. I mean, it's mostly like, who's his best friend? Is it Rin? Is it Makoto? But Rin and Makoto as individuals are far more interesting than Haru is. Haru is obsessed with the water, kind of almost to like a pathological degree. He pretty much strips off and jumps in no matter where it is, what the occasion is, or how inappropriate. Makoto is my favorite character, so I'm kind of biased here, but he is the adult in the group. He's the only one who kind of is responsible. He kind of looks after the other guys on the team. He's a very kind, gentle person. So he's kind of I've seen him described as the team mother, and that's a pretty good descriptor. That's pretty head-on from Makoto. Nagisa, oh, when I first saw this character, I was so afraid he was going to be like that super cutesy type, like Honey Senpai in High School Host Club. I was like, oh, please don't be that character. I'm not a fan of that character type. But no, he's not that. He's actually, he's kind of the cute one, but he's also kind of the brat, which I actually kind of dug. Yeah, he kind of like talks back to some of the guys, throws some shade. He's the energetic one, got a lot of optimism. He's the one who kind of spearheads recruiting Ray and getting the team started, which leads to Ray, who is the Megane character with the glasses. He is the smart one. He overanalyzes everything. I don't know how you could possibly think about all the things he does and still participate in the sport. But yeah, he doesn't know how to swim at first. He kind of like picks that up, and he kind of finds his way into the group. Rin is angry. I feel like the character is good, but I feel like the backstory is a little lacking, because Rin is, he goes away to Australia for middle school. He comes back one summer, races Haru. Haru still beats him even after he's been training all this time in Australia, and he's so distraught from this one event that he completely quits swimming, and he's still in Australia though, so I wonder what he's doing there. He's just not swimming anymore. He comes back, he has a massive chip on his shoulder, he's just super angry. They kind of try and work something in about him wanting to like fulfill his dad's dream, and that means beating Haru. It's not done great. It's kind of like they tried to throw some reason why he's the bad boy in there, but the reasoning is just, it's a little weak. It's a little bit weak. But the character as a whole is fine, and he's the one who actually kind of goes through a character arc over the course of the season. He starts off that very embittered, angry person who's kind of like out to prove something, really, and then by the end of the thing he's like, oh yeah, you guys were my friends, and I'm kind of overreacting, and this sport is about friendship for me, and so I need to be like, cognizant of that, and I need to be a better friend. So he does develop as a character. And yeah, that's pretty much our main 5 characters for this season. and I haven't watched season 2, so I can't speak to that. But season 1, the main theme kind of seems to be about discovering who you are as a team, like discovering the importance of relying on your friends. It's a little Sailor Moon with the power of friendship kind of thing. Yeah, and that's kind of where the people are gonna point out, oh, the couples or the homoeroticism in this. If you are a shipper and you like to ship people, that's great. You're gonna have a ball. I did. It was a lot of fun. But if you want like a traditional like anime romance between like a guy and a girl, or even like just a straight up like blatant romance, even if it's between two guys, you're not gonna get that. There's like hints of a heterosexual romance, but the girl in it seems completely uninterested. That would be Go. She's just like, whatever. And it never really comes to anything. So if you're looking for like a very romantic anime, this is not it. But the relationships between the characters are very interesting, and I'd say they're one of the strongest elements of the anime, other than the animation. The animation in this is beautiful, just gorgeous. Kyoto Animation is just pulling out all of the stops on this. It's just breathtaking. The water is animated beautifully. I haven't seen water animated this perfectly outside of like Studio Ghibli. That's how good the water animation is. And then the character animation is very fluid. You've got great character designs. The fan service moments can be a little jarring, but again, like I said, I'm not a fan service person, so when you stop the action of the scene in order to be like, look at this person's ass, I'm like, alright, I see it. Thanks, guys, for stopping for this 10-second break. This was useful. If you're a fan of that, you're gonna love it, but if you're not a fan, you can actually, like, get over it. It's not, like, completely in your face. You can move on from it. So if I'm gonna talk about my favorite parts of the anime, it would definitely be, again, those characters, the relationships between the characters, the animation, and actually, I love the ending theme. Make us free, 光のコントラスト浴びて Feel so free な今日飛び込む俺たちの brand new blue yeah. If you don't like the ending theme, like there's just something wrong with you. I'm not gonna apologize for that. It's the problem is you. Yeah. The ending theme was great. It's really cute. I think it's the original Japanese voice actors all singing it too. Yeah, it's just a great, solid ending theme that you can totally get into. In terms of weak points, again, Haru's not terribly interesting. This is a very fluffy, slice of life kind of anime, so people are going to be high melodrama for things that maybe don't deserve it, like, you know, high school life, the swim team, you know, how important is that really? So if you like action set pieces or anything like that, you're in the wrong place. This is just not going to get that to you. If you like things that aren't like slice of life style or high school style, then again, this is not the place for you. Free is completely all about that. I also love that they have like these little spirit animals for like each character, which kind of like it makes Rin's character design kind of hilarious, because his spirit animal is the shark and he has like these crazy pointy teeth in his character design. It just kind of makes me chuckle. Haru's is the dolphin, Makoto's is the killer whale, another reason why Makoto is just cool. Nagisa's is the penguin, which I'm like, huh, okay, known for their renowned swimming ability. And then Ray's is the butterfly, which he swims butterfly, okay, I get it. And he is obsessed with beauty. I don't know why that character was obsessed with beauty. I don't know if it was the dub, it didn't come off very well, but it seemed very gimmicky. That's one of the few things I dislike about Ray, is the kind of the beauty gimmick. Another thing that I have a massive problem, I have such a big problem with this that I'm actually going to make another video about it. The swimming! I have been a competitive swimmer for over 14 years. Well, not so much anymore, but definitely elementary school, middle school, high school, a couple years of college. I swam competitively. And, free. I don't watch a ton of sports anime, so I don't know if this is like a common thing where they kind of like just chuck all the rules of the sport out the window in favor of the drama. But this is definitely the most drama I have ever seen around any medley relay ever. Like, I just can't imagine, like, how committed are you to this medley relay? So I'm actually going to make an entirely separate video about why free doesn't get competitive swimming. Because there are so many errors. It is going to be a nitpicky fucking video. Yeah, I'm just going to nitpick the hell of it. If that is a problem for you, that's why it's a separate video, so you don't have to watch it. But if you want to learn something about competitive swimming, or just hear me complain, then I would check it out. So overall, my impressions of Free, really solid, enjoyable anime, particularly for the character relationships. It is kind of light, fluffy. It's really, if you're looking to kill some time or you just want to feel good about yourself, it's kind of a good anime to be in. High drama, keeps it compelling. I would give it, overall, a 7 out of 10. Alright, well, thanks for sticking with me. This has been On Task Reviews with Alex. If you would like to hear more from us, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. See y'all next time!